Good morning. It is Thursday, February 16th, and the sun has risen out on the west coast to produce an overcast, foggy day at Riviera Country Club, where play, though, is already underway in the opening round of the Genesis Open. We will bring you highlights from the golf in California throughout our 2-hour show today. But for now, let's bring you inside Studio AP. Cara Robinson with Gary Williams and a PGA Tour winner in Robert Damron. Hey, and world number one Lydia Ko completed her first round of 2017 overnight. We'll update you on her progress in a moment. But foggy conditions, Robert, never a nice way to start the week.
Well, you know what's bad about that is you sit and wonder, is it going to get a little thicker and then we're going to get delayed? I'm on the range, I'm ready to go to the first tee, but maybe we're not even going to play, and it's tough mentally to play the first few holes like that.
Good that they have got underway, Gary, because it's always a frustrating start to kick off with the delay if that is the case.
It is, and unfortunately for them, they have a situation where they may have upwards of 5 inches of rain scheduled in the forecast for tomorrow. So this could be a very, very long week, very, very long weekend, but I'm very excited. I love this golf course. This is the deepest full field event we've got yet this year. It's the middle of February. This is a wonderful event to end the West Coast swing.
5th straight week in California as well. So much to get into today. Let's say good morning to Bailey Mosier.
Good morning. Thank you, Cara. Yes, I have your top stories for today, a 2-hour show, like you said, Cara. So we begin. It was announced on Wednesday that Graham McDowell and Annika Sorenstam, they are among 5 hosts for the Arnold Palmer Invitational next month at Bay Hill. As tournament hosts, the quintet will take on roles traditionally held by Mr. Palmer, ranging from hosting pro-am parties to handing the trophy to the winner. And world number one Lydia Ko, she opened the ISPS Hando Women's Australian Open with a 2-under-71. A round that included 3 birdies to just 1 bogey. A solid start for the 19-year-old who's making her 2017 debut with new equipment, a new swing coach, and a new caddy. And 2 are tied at the top of the European Tour's World Super 6 Perth. Both Mark Foster and Brett Rumford opened with 6-under-66s. Meanwhile, Open champion Louis Oosthuizen is just 3 back after a 3-under-69. So those are your top stories this morning. Damon, over to you, and good morning.
Good morning, Bailey. Time now for another episode of Wild Kingdom.
No, it's Wild Kingdom.
I missed the memo. Wild Kingdom. That's a kangaroo. Now, the males can get as big as 6'7", Charlie Reimer. The females, they have the pouch. The babies are 1 inch in length at birth. And yes, they like boxing.
You've been reading Wikipedia this morning, haven't you?
I've been doing a little studying.
I like kangaroos. They got plenty of them down there, too. They're not going to run out anytime soon.
And like LeBron James, they got great hops. I mean, look at that. Look at them. They can jump. And now, what is this? This is a T marker here.
That's a marsupial. That's a duck-billed platypus.
It's
what that is. Yeah.
All right.
A quokka?
A wallaby, perhaps?
Sounds like a fruit.
The quokkas are cute. The kangaroos like to box. But how was the fight at the World Super 6 Perth? Torbjörn Olesen, this tee shot on fire.
That head cover is a Thunder Bear.
Yeah.
is what that is. As we watch the Thunder Bear play a really cool tee shot, this par 3, that was a dead straight laser beam right at the flagstick, or the bucket as I like to call it.
That bucket birdie. 2-under-70 on the day. How about Aussie, a local, Brett Rumford on the 7?
Good looking stroke right there. You see how stable his body was? Most really good putters, they got a very stable body.
Makes it and finishes at 6 under on the day. How about Louis Oosthuizen on 9? He won in Perth back in 2016.
I love his golf swing, so we're going to show you that he can putt as well with that 4-footer there. When he starts figuring that one out, look out.
Bogey free, 3 under on the day. You see the 2 tied at the top, Brett Rumford and Mark Foster. Interesting note, Foster was born in Worksop, England, just like Lee Westwood. Foster looking for his first European Tour win since the Alfred Dunhill Championship way back in 2003. Now, how about the format for the World Super 6 Perth? You begin with 156 players. You cut down to 65 in ties after 36 holes. The top 24 advance to match play after 54 holes in a series of 6-hole matches. Sunday will determine the winner. Will be fun to watch here on Golf Channel. Glad you're a fan, Charlie Reimer. How about the ladies also down under? World number one Lydia Ko. So much new in her game and her life, Charlie Reimer.
Yeah, and so much old, still making great putts there.
That got her to 1 under on the day. The short game, it just seems to travel wherever she is. Doesn't matter what she's got in her bag.
Yeah, this is one that is scary to a lot of people. We're going to take a little closer look at that and watch and learn coming up in just a moment.
She was 2 under on the day, tied for 25th. How about world number 2, Ariya Jutanugarn?
A ton of power. She gets to hit a lot of these scoring clubs, and that's without even hitting a driver off the tee. Mostly plays with that 2-iron and a 3-wood. She can never figure out how to hit that driver. I don't know that anybody can catch her, Damon.
Within 5 feet, she would make birdie to get to 1 under on the day. The 7th hole showing that she has not just power, but also some touch.
Yeah, this is a sort of old school pitch right there. Took it down low, let it run out. Great touch.
She would save par, tied for 41st. Michelle Wie, a lot of attention to the new putting style, claw.
I like it. I really like it a lot. I mean, this is something that looks to me to be sustainable for Michelle Wie. And the big thing is you make a change like that, Damon, if you can just get a little bit of confidence, that's what could really help her, not only with her putting, but with her pitching around the greens. That's from a tightly mown area. Tough shot she made look easy. Maybe she's starting to gain a little confidence in that short game.
She is a major champion. It'll be fun to see her playing well. How about Catherine Kirk? Aussie, this tee shot on 16.
Yeah, she was out early, took advantage of the good scoring conditions early. When you play down in Australia, you're going to have to deal with a bunch of wind, especially late in the day. Catherine Kirk, twice a winner on the LPGA, but she hasn't won since 2010. So playing well in her home country's open. She loves where she is and would love to hang on. This would be a very meaningful win for her.
Bogey-free, 8 under, a 2-shot lead over 4 players. And as we mentioned, so much attention paid to the world number 1, Lydia Ko. New caddy, new coach, new clubs. 33 putts yesterday, 16 of 18 greens, 14 of 15 fairways. But what can we learn from Lydia Ko? So much, I would say, Charlie.
Yeah, when you're playing a pitch like this is fairly square face. She's going to let that loft get it up in the air. You got to find the bottom of your golf swing, and you do that when you're taking your practice swings, Damon. So when you're taking your practice swings, you don't want to hear, you heard that, that's coming in a little heavy, and you don't want to hear that. That's nothing. You know, you want to take some practice strokes where you just sort of brush that turf. Did you hear that?
I did.
You just sort of brush that turf, and that lets you find the bottom of your swing. You find the bottom of your swing, and then you jump up and hit real quick while you still know where the bottom is. Go ahead and roll it, and maybe you'll get one that is that solid, that simple. Find the bottom of your swing, let the loft do its thing, and you'll hit a few good shots like that.
All right, let's keep it moving. How about the 9th hole? This was for birdie.
It sort of matches up well. Everybody's going to these big putter grips now. When you go with this big putter grip, what it does is it quiets the hands. If you want to have active hands in your putting, and some people don't use a big grip like this. Go ahead and roll it. This equipment matches what she's trying to do. See how quiet her hands are right there? Very easy to do with these big, new, fancy putter grips.
Lydia Ko, the prodigy now. Michelle Wie was the prodigy back in the day. This new putting style, Charlie, what do you see here? This is the club that's held her back for the last several years.
Yeah, so what she's doing is she's got the putter in her left hand pretty weak, and then that right hand just sort of rides in. I mean, really just the tips of a couple of fingers are touching the actual putter grip. And the reason I chose this putt is I want you to see how smooth it is. That's why I think this is working for her. Go ahead and roll it. From this angle, you can see just how smooth it is. And that's something, if you can be smooth with your putting, we saw that with Lydia Ko, we're seeing that with Michelle Wie, then that is really, really helpful. You've got stuff going on in sort of a herky-jerky fashion, that's no good. But I also wanted to point out that you still can use the hands. Go ahead and you can see just a little bit of lag with her hands, so they're not completely locked out. Boom, did you see that, Damon?
Yeah, sure.
It's just a little subtle movement, a little bit, I'm exaggerating here, a little bit of hinge and hold. So you can use your hands a little bit, you just don't want them to get overly active.
If she figures out that part of the game, I mean, Paige McKenzie says that everything else she's got.
Yeah.
That's the part of the game she needs to figure out, and maybe it'll be a great 2017 for Michelle Wie. For more, we send it back to Cara.
Alrighty, Damon. Well, from Australia to California, where the last 5 events on the PGA Tour have been contested. And this week, it's Riviera Country Club that marks the final event of the West Coast swing before the tour moves east. I have to tell you now, though, that the first round has been suspended by 15 minutes due to this early fog we're seeing. But out at the Genesis Open all week long is our senior writer from GolfChannel.com, Rex Hoggard, who joins us now. Good morning, Rex.
Good morning, and they are playing right now. The fog has burned off. There's still a little bit on the far side of the course, but the groups have teed off.
Good to know, Rex. Thank you. This week does mark the first PGA Tour start of 2017 for Adam Scott. No surprise, perhaps, that the world number 7 has chosen to make his calendar year debut at a place he's tasted previous success, right?
Yeah, no surprise. I mean, you look at what he did here last year, finished runner-up. But as you pointed out, this is actually his first tour start since early October of last year. Now, he did play in Singapore in January, so he does have a start. But he's one of the few guys that really takes an extended break. He actually takes an off-season. I spoke to him yesterday, and he said that he actually had to force himself not to touch a golf club for 4 weeks, which is really surprising for a tour player. He said he didn't touch a golf club all of December. He picked up early in January, said he really focused on his putting and his short game. After a really hot start to the beginning of last season, finished runner-up here, and then he won the next 2 starts. He felt like his putting got a little off, his short game got a little off, so that's where his focus was. And it is also interesting that he's not going to play a lot of golf leading into the year's first major. He said he's only going to play 4 starts this week, the Shell Houston Open the week before the Masters, and of course the 2 World Golf Championships that are coming up in Mexico City and the match play. So he's really the type of player, he can get into a rhythm quickly and doesn't feel like he has to play a lot to peak at Augusta like most guys want to.
Wow, he is known to play a limited schedule. That really is quite limited at the start of 17. What about someone else then, Rex, a 2-time winner on the PGA Tour, Harris English, who I understand has been celebrating a recent marriage in between tour starts. Is that right?
Yeah, he did. Actually, this week's kind of a honeymoon for him. I spoke with him yesterday. He got married last Saturday to his longtime girlfriend at Sea Island. He got married at Ocean Forest Golf Club. He said it's something they had planned for a long time, and this is just the way it works out. This is a bit of an anniversary / honeymoon, he said this week. He said this event 3 years ago was the first time his then girlfriend came out and went to a tour event with him. So it's kind of some synergy there, but they do plan to take a proper honeymoon. He said in the fall they'll probably take about 10 days to go to Italy. So they're just going to postpone it for a little while. And he also pointed out he had a lot of support at his wedding. Obviously, there's a lot of tour players at Sea Island. He said Brian Harmon was there, Hudson Swafford. So it was almost like a mini tour event, getting everyone together for that wedding.
Oh, congratulations to the new Mr. and Mrs. English. Let's talk about Kelly Craft. He finished runner-up last week at Pebble Beach. That finish, Rex, has given him the opportunity to compete in the Genesis Open this week. How life-changing was that for him?
It really is when you look at it, considering he was a rookie on the PGA Tour last year and he's playing out of the Web.com Tour category, and that gets reshuffled and you struggle early in the season to get starts after the fall, and he didn't get off to a great start. Now consider what he did last week. That runner-up finish, top 10, got him into this event, which he normally wouldn't have qualified for. And he said last year he didn't play at all in Florida because he didn't qualify for any of the events. As it stands now, he's qualified for pretty much every event. He plans to play there. Keep in mind, last season he only played 20 events. So far this year, this is his 9th start. So it's going to change a lot of what he can play, give him a lot of opportunities with his schedule going forward. And he also pointed out, talking with Jordan Spieth, about what he did on Sunday at Pebble Beach. Jordan was almost more excited for Kelly Craft. They're very good friends. They spend a lot of time together in Dallas. Of course, Kelly finished 4 strokes behind Jordan, but he said they have a lot of games. And I asked him when they're back home in Dallas, you know, do they play with each other or against each other? And he said it's always against Jordan. So it's a very friendly, very good rivalry.
That's a pretty good guy to be playing against, I imagine, to match your game. Thanks for all the insight, Rex. We'll talk to you again in the next hour.
Thanks, Carl.
Alrighty, now take a look at this. The last 7 PGA Tour events have all been won by a player in his 20s. That matches the longest such streak since 1970. You might, guys, call it a youth takeover. So let's play a little game of Take Your Pick. Robert, I'm going to start with you. I would love to know which 20-something in the field of Riviera this week you would pick to continue the streak.
I've got to go with Thomas Pieters. This is his first start back in the United States since going 4-1-0 in the Ryder Cup. It's spectacular. And by the way, 2012 NCAA winner at Riviera. He's got a long game here at Hogan's Alley. He's got a long game that would make Hogan jealous. And if this isn't his week, it's coming soon, and it's going to come often.
Great pick. I saw his name on the field list. Hard not to let him catch your eye after his performance at Hazeltine. It will be really interesting to see how he does play in an official PGA Tour event.
Yeah, for sure. I doubt Hogan would be jealous.
He wouldn't let you know if he was.
Exactly. You know, for me, I'm going to go with a guy who's still in his 20s, Cara. Jason Day, who's 29 years of age. We've got him for the whole year. He doesn't turn 30 until November. And it's been kind of an interesting start to the year. I thought he had a flat week playing in the Farmers Insurance Open, missed the cut there. And then last week I was very surprised by his third round of 75 at Pebble Beach. I thought he was going to be right there. I thought it was going to be Day and Spieth coming down to the wire, but he finished in the top 5. I like him this week. The one caveat is that he hadn't played there much in recent memory, and his experiences there are missed cuts. In 2010 and 2011, he's the #1 player in the world. I'm going to pick him.
He might not be at the end of this week.
You're right.
Interesting. Both Dustin Johnson and Hideki Matsuyama have the chance. I'm going to go with a member of that high school class of 2011, 23-year-old Ollie Schneiderjans. After an impressive amateur career, we all knew about him a while ago. He became a winner on the Web.com Tour last year, and he earned his 2016-17 PGA Tour card, having finished 6th on the Web.com Tour regular season money list. The event he won was the Air Capital Classic. He did miss his first 3 cuts of this season, guys, but he's since posted 2 top 10 finishes in his last 5 starts at the RSM Classic and the Farmers Insurance Open. He's a rookie who I think is trending upwards. We saw John Rahm bounce out the gates and win straight away. I think someone like Ollie could be next.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we've got a full house today, and our travel expert who always cares about the common man or woman, it's about public golf, Matt Ginelli. You've set yourself up for some turbulence today, I believe.
I've already got it, Gary. Good morning to you. Yes, today's Twitter question is, what is the best course in California? This is not the best public course in California. This is not the best value course in California. This is not the cheapest course in California. This is the best. And these 4, based on Golf Digest list of America's 100 greatest courses, all 4 of these in the top 5. Twitter poll, as you can see, posted on my Twitter handle, Matt Ginella GC. We'll be running some of your feedback throughout today's show, plus the final Twitter poll results at the end of the show. Bailey, over to you.
Thank you, Matt. Yes, be sure to tweet him with the courses that you think are the best in California. Here's a look at what else is coming up today on the tee sheet. This week's Genesis Open is the 7th oldest stop on the PGA Tour, having been played for almost an entire century. And although the event has rotated courses, it's been played at Riviera 55 times total. So we will take an in-depth look at the history of Riviera throughout the morning. And we will also be reminiscing of the days of old when Billy Mayfair joins us live, because it was at the Genesis Open in 1998 that Mayfair defeated Tiger Woods in a playoff, the only playoff Woods ever lost. We'll hear from Mayfair on what that was like and what his game is like now that he's 50 and playing on the PGA Tour Champions. And our travel expert, Matt Ginella, he's here in studio with us today, but he is going to take us around the world with the latest updates on iconic courses from around the globe, things that you need to know if you're planning to get away to any of these courses anytime soon. And speaking of worldly travel, as we take you to break, we remind you that the LPGA, they're teeing it up this week in Australia, and everyone wants a front row seat on the action, including these guys. Damon, didn't you say they were like LeBron James? They have hops? They don't make that noise, though. We'll be back right after this.
That's not a kangaroo. It's not a kangaroo.
Beer have hops?